Hey, it's me, Sushi. This is your first time coming to my channel. Then welcome, first of all. And if you like what you see, if you like games just like me, please consider liking, subscribing to my channel. It'd be much appreciated. And if you are subscribed to my channel, then welcome back. And today's video, I thought I'd do something a little bit different to what I've been normally doing, uploading, gameplays, if you see my videos, that is. And today, I thought I'd do my very first sort of like review, thoughts on a game that I've been playing this year, and I might do more of these in the future actually. So let's get into it. What is this game? It's just a small little game that came out fairly recently, about the last couple of months, and this is indeed going to be The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. So as you can see, out on the Nintendo Switch exclusively, and yeah, this is the box art, their box display, and yeah. So far, I've put about, I think currently about 140 plus hours at the time of this recording, and yeah, planning to put some more hours, of course, into it. Been really enjoying it. So I actually finished the main story, I think last sort of couple of weeks ago. That took about 120 hours, I believe. So yeah, and I did a few side quests in between, little side missions, adventures, and other little things. If you've played the game, you'd know you can find these things called Korok seeds and shrines, and these are basically little extra things that you will see in the land of Hyrule, which is where this game is set in. And this is essentially, it's supposed to be, they call it a sequel to the previous Zelda game, the Breath of the Wild, which I have right here. And here you go, this is the box art for this one. Here's the back here. Now just going back to Breath of the Wild actually, first of all, so I actually finished this about a couple of years ago. So you could say I was kind of late to the gaming scene for the Breath of the Wild. This came out in 2016, I believe. Does you see on this back of the box? It actually says, oh, down here it says 2017 actually. So you can see here. Let's try to get a bit closer. There we go. And yeah, so 2017. Originally, this was released on the Wii U, and then Nintendo decided to release it on the Switch in 2017, that is. So Breath of the Wild was quite a different departure to previous Zelda titles, and I'm a massive Zelda fan. I've played a lot of them, not all of them, but definitely a lot of the main ones. The only ones I haven't really properly finished is the Minish Cap, what's it called? I haven't played Link's Awakening on the remake version, or the remastered version, depends how you see it. I guess it's a remake version because it's kind of updated graphics, and that is on the Switch, and that looks actually really good and charming, so I definitely intend to play that at some point. I actually loved Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. That's definitely one of my childhood memories. And if you haven't played Link's Awakening, then I do recommend that, especially if you loved and you played Link to the Past. Link to the Past is probably my favourite Zelda game of all time, although it's a kind of a contest between Ocarina of Time. As everyone knows, that's probably the best Zelda game that most people would see. Some people would argue Breath of the Wild would be their favourite, but I personally prefer Ocarina of Time. Personally, as a nostalgic reasons, but yeah, Ocarina of Time that's the game that really put Zelda onto the map, onto the gaming scene, and kind of like, I guess, thrust the Zelda titles forward, and really made more people aware of the Zelda game series. But yeah, that's kind of like my little history of Zelda. And yeah, so back to Breath of the Wild. So this game is the first Zelda game that is like fully open, very immersive, and yeah, as if you play any Zelda game, you have the hero here. Let's get a better view of that. So the hero is Link. He's called the Hero of Time, as there are several different incarnations of Link in the Zelda titles. And yes, if you haven't played Zelda before, and back in the days people got confused of who Zelda was. They thought this character was Zelda. That is not true. And Zelda is essentially, she's the princess of Hyrule. Zelda and Link, and also a villain called Ganondorf, or Ganon, is they're basically the trio, or the Triforce of the Zelda series. And yeah, Breath of the Wild is a very open world. It's massive. Yeah, I think it took me about 80 hours, roughly, maybe just slightly less, to complete this. The main story, that is. Then I went back and then got you get hearts in this game, where that increases your life longevity, and also you get a stamina bar where you basically use the stamina to run, do certain actions like climb. So this is the first Zelda game that enables you to climb pretty much everywhere. You can it's really good for sort of traversal and basically exploring the world of Hyrule. So I'd say personally, right off the bat, Breath of the Wild, I didn't really get into it, I guess. So I mean, the world looks pretty amazing. It's quite beautiful at certain points. Some things just really, it didn't quite resonate with me, and I think the open world aspect of it really, compared to, because I guess I've played a lot of the previous Zelda titles, they're quite linear, you could say, but they're kind of story focused. So you follow a set path and you know where to go. Well, this one is basically, you go where you feel like you want to. And I mean, it's quite nice, and but I feel for me that was a little bit overwhelming at the time, and I guess I wasn't really prepared for it. But over time I did get used to it, and there were some things I appreciated it, and I appreciate how Nintendo did their best to explore and create different mechanics. You get like different skills in this game that allow you to be more creative. So I guess this game it allows you to express your creativity and how to solve various different aspects of, I guess, puzzles and things, battling enemies. How would you approach certain enemies, like sneaking or using different, different solutions to get around those problems. So yeah, this game at first, it didn't really stick with me, and it is a great game overall. I wouldn't quite say it was a Zelda game personally, but this game I would probably give it 9 out of 10. I'd say a solid 9 out of 10 for what it is. So yeah, this is Breath of the Wild. So yeah, let's just put it towards the back. Let's come back to Tears of the Kingdom, and yeah, this Tears of the Kingdom, I think first of all, I actually really like this cover art. See here, Link is in the sky this time. So Breath of the Wild, this is set in, I guess, one central area, which is basically the land, the Great Plateau. And with Tears of the Kingdom, if you didn't know, if this box art did not give you an idea of where you could be or where you would be, yes, it does have a secondary area. It's basically the sky, so above the clouds, and this is where you start actually, high above. Well, I say where you start, but I'll let you to I guess play the game or watch other YouTubers' videos to see how it all begins. But essentially, yes, this has the sky. This is also going back to the land of Hyrule. So as I said before, this essentially is a kind of a sequel-esque to Breath of the Wild. But essentially, it's more like, to me, it's like an enhanced version, really hyped up version of Breath of the Wild. And this is what I actually much prefer to this Kingdom. There's a lot of things that they kind of Nintendo decided to, I guess you could say, rectify or just change things, modifying things to try to cater to the old Zelda fans like myself. And yeah, I did things a lot of things it did right. And some things are still a bit clunky, like the UI and how to navigate around your kind of equipment screen, abilities, etc., which they, hopefully the next title, they would definitely learn to kind of rectify. So going back to the areas here, you've got two areas: the sky, land. Also, you've got something called the depths. So the depths was something that wasn't actually advertised in Nintendo trailers, videos you might have seen. Nintendo kept that a secret, which was a good idea from a marketing perspective, if you will. I knew there were like little caves and caverns you could explore in this game, and but yeah, these depths, or the depths, is basically a one massive area underneath the land of Hyrule, as you might have suspected from the word depths. And first time I saw, you see these chasms, and these are essentially these massive holes on the land. First time I saw this, there's quite a few chasms, but the first one I saw was, it looked very, very ominous. I thought, okay, what is this massive hole that was never in the Breath of the Wild? So of course curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to investigate to see what this was. I thought it may be like a weird warp hole that might transport you to something else, to somewhere else even. But as I jumped into one of the chasms, um, it went down, yeah, quite a long way. So it's this like long, deep, it's kind of a tunnel going downwards, vertical. It feels like you're going on for ages, and it's all very dark. You've got this like spiritual energy aura surrounding you. Um, First time I saw it was, yeah, it's very foreboding and very, yeah, exciting but terrifying at the same time. Um, but yeah, coming down this hole, it just keeps going on and on. And when you're near to the, I guess, the bottom, into the depths, it's all very dark around you. By the way, it's yeah, very gloomy. You really can't see much. There's not much light sources. In the distance, you might see some little red or pink flecks of different, I guess, objects, things you don't know. I didn't know what it was at the time. I thought, okay, maybe it could be enemies. No idea. It's very mysterious. And as you get close to the bottom, you hear this saxophone, and I guess the saxophone in this game is quite prominent. I like how they kind of incorporate saxophone as part of their kind of extra instrument in their music. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I like the music in this game, but it's not the best. I'd say it's not the best soundtrack. Some soundtrack is kind of more memorable, like Kakariko Village, also Hatano Village, I think it is. So yeah, those are quite memorable, you could say, but they're not compared to other past Zelda games. Anyway, so yeah, coming back to the saxophone, coming down to chasm, this really deep, foreboding saxophone just plays, and yeah, it's just very sudden, and yeah, it just really draws you in, makes you very immersed in your environment. It just comes out of nowhere, and then yeah, then you hit the bottom, and it's all very dark. I think the first thing I saw, yeah, there was this NPC, this guy, like a scout, essentially scouting, exploring the depths, to discover ruins of Hyrule. But yeah, this first kind of interaction, coming down here, yeah, that was definitely 10 out of 10. Really enjoyed that part, the first time round. So definitely the top moment, or one of the top moments of Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, if you haven't played Tears of the Kingdom, do try it out anyway. It's definitely recommended. So yeah, this game did a lot of things right that I think addressed the issues that I had with Zelda, with Breath of the Wild. Combat it's pretty much the same, but they've introduced some new mechanics, some new abilities. Something called Fuse. It's one of your skills that you use you can fuse items, like you basically have a bow and arrow, or bows that you can gather in the game, and then you get certain, you pick up certain, like say, monster parts, or maybe fruit or objects in the world that you can fuse to your weapons. So you got a sword or spear, and you can basically enhance these weapons to upgrade them, and to make them have a bit more power behind them. And also, any weapons that you have, they basically have durability, like a hidden durability stat, that when you attack with it enough times, they will break. So the fuse kind of helps also to give more durability as well to your equipment, including shield as well. So also you can fuse You can fuse items to your arrows that you find. Yeah, I guess this game kind of wants you to try to experiment with arrows and see what you can do. And arrows, I'd say, is probably one of the main sort of I guess weapons that you'd use a lot. And yeah, you definitely need it in this game. Also, it's very fun to fuse certain various things like fire arrows, electric arrows. Also, yeah, stupid things, dumb things you might think might not work, and sometimes it doesn't really do much. But yeah, you can fuse things like these mushrooms, which are essentially like you can throw objects as well. So you can throw the mushrooms, for example, or these fire fruits. But obviously, throwing does not give you enough distance. So fusing to an arrow gives you that distance. And yeah, the mushroom is very, very good actually to clear, to basically, it's like a smoke screen, and blinds enemies for a few seconds. I think it's probably about 10 seconds, maybe a bit longer, and use that to your advantage. So yeah, this game is great for experimenting with a lot of things like that. So how to approach enemies. So I like how they, with Tears of the Kingdom compared to Breath of the Wild, yeah, allows you more experimentation with your kind of strategies, how to attack enemies in the combat. But also there are various other skills you get as well, like the Ascend ability, which is amazing ability, really, really good. Probably one or two of my favourites. So that, and probably the recall ability allows you to rewind time, and yeah, allows you to get access to certain areas by rewinding like a rock that might have fell down from the sky, and then you go back up, for example, or other things. Use that to attack enemies that might chuck something at you, and then you chuck them back using the recall ability. So definitely very, very useful in a lot of scenarios, you could say. So yeah, what I really liked about Tears of the Kingdom was the atmosphere. I think that was lacking in Breath of the Wild, and yeah, just definitely the depths, especially. That's when I thought, well, even the intro, when you start off in the Hyrule Castle and then you explore, and then at the end you find something, which I won't spoil here. So that intro part definitely helped to set the expectations of the adventure ahead, and definitely give it a bit more of a moody, darker vibe compared to Breath of the Wild, which I definitely appreciated. And yeah, Breath of the Wild, you just kind of like you wake up in this cavern, this cave, then you come out, and that's it, you're in the land of Hyrule. So that seemed a bit sudden to me, didn't really draw me in. But this, Tears of the Kingdom was something else that I really appreciate them doing that. And yeah, the atmosphere definitely was great. That's what I liked. So yeah, what else I liked about this game? So it's not a perfect game by any means. They did kind of bring back dungeons in a sense. I wouldn't say they're real dungeons, like compared to other Zelda games, but they definitely give that feeling, that vibe that I didn't have with Breath of the Wild, with their divine beast and their so-called dungeons. Those dungeons in Breath of the Wild, they were a little bit. I won't say a little bit. I said they were quite bland, to be fair, not as memorable, and just something that I felt like Nintendo didn't really explore properly. But the Tears of the Kingdom, yeah, I like the way how you traverse the dungeon beforehand. So the way you, let's say, the way you have to go through each one to locate. So it may take about, let's say, 20 minutes or something like that to get to the actual, I guess, the palace or the central dungeon. And yeah, that really set the tone for each one and really helped to yeah, keep me intrigued, and yeah, definitely involved for sure. The dungeons in Tears of the Kingdom were quite easy, to be fair. They're still quite easy, which is fine. To me personally, I probably would have liked a bit more of a challenge. I still kind of miss the main thing in other Zelda titles where you find an item, the key item in the dungeon that you use, like a new weapon or ability, etc. That you use in the dungeon. Yeah, you don't get it in this game. It's more like exploring the dungeon and how to get through it by finding, let's say, 4 different keys or 4 different switches to then access the main boss gate or area. So yeah, that's kind of the thing that I wish they had in this game. That's kind of missing, but again, I guess it's more like, yeah, this game still wants you to explore, experiment, how to navigate. Definitely, this game has more verticality compared to Breath of the Wild, which is quite nice. And it definitely gives it a bit more different, gives it a bit more expansive kind of area, the dungeon that you're in. And yeah, I guess it allows you to have more interest. So kind of looking at the back actually quickly. So yeah, you can see here, explore land and sky. I'm not sure you can see that. See above the clouds. Oh yes, also you can create your own inventions using, I forgot to mention that, the other ability called Ultra Hand. So it allows you to create your own vehicles, other things, objects that will help you to navigate the world or solve problems. Like, let's say you can fuse different planks of wood or objects to create a really unsteady, very janky looking bridge to get across a poisonous lake, for instance. But you know, it looks very rough, your invention, but it doesn't matter, because as long as you get to your goal, then yeah, you feel rewarded and I guess fulfilled. So that's kind of what Nintendo wants you to feel doing this game, and I definitely felt that many times, especially in the shrines you have in this game. Yeah, so the shrines are back, and they're actually a lot. Yeah, they're definitely a lot better in this one. I felt like, I definitely felt more satisfied getting through different problems, using, I guess, Ultra Hand a lot of times. Also the recall ability to solve a problem, and a lot of the times they do work, and some more smoothly than others. But I really liked that aspect of the game, just really to be able to use my own thinking, and then that's, I guess, this game is very different for everyone that plays it. You have your own individual ways of thinking how to solve a problem. But yeah, here we go. So a bit more. Also, this game also has a bit more story focus as well compared to Breath of the Wild. That's one of also the main things, the main cons of Breath of the Wild, which I felt like really lacking, and the main villain wasn't really that interesting, I think, at the end. This one, also you've got Zelda. She's a bit more involved this time around, and you obviously have to save Zelda in a sense, or you work with her in a sense to get through to finding the main villain in the game, which is Ganon. Ganondorf. He's back, like in proper form, in his proper Gerudo form. The Gerudo is basically one of the is it species? I don't think it's the right word, species. But you know what I mean. A different Gerudo is, I guess, a tribe, isn't it? People, even, type of people. Anyway, this game is definitely a lot better than Breath of the Wild in my whole opinion. Not perfect. I'd say it's at least 9.5 out of 10. But really enjoyed it. Definitely will continue to play that game. I said 140 hours currently and ongoing. So anyway, this is my little thoughts and a little mini review on To the Kingdom and also Breath of the Wild. But hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, please again consider subscribing to me to see more content. I guess like this, I might actually do more like this actually for games that I've been playing recently, or I would like to go back to playing or haven't played before. And that would definitely help me out just to get my creative sort of review juices going. But really enjoyed actually just creating this little video for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and that's it. All right, have a good day.